The world has lied to you. Everything you've been taught about wealth, success, and prosperity is a carefully crafted illusion designed to keep you trapped in an endless cycle of struggle. You work tirelessly, chasing dreams that always seem just out of reach. You push harder, sacrifice more, yet the finish line never gets closer. But what if I told you that you've been climbing the wrong ladder all along? What if the secret to getting rich isn't about grinding harder, but about shifting the way you see reality itself? This is where Neville Goddard's law of assumption changes everything. It's not just another self-help theory. It's the blueprint for bending reality in your favor. The mind is the architect of your destiny, shaping every experience, every dollar that flows or refuses to flow into your life. And the shocking truth? Most people are trapped, unknowingly assuming failure, scarcity, and struggle as their default state. They live in survival mode, never realizing that the power to manifest unlimited wealth is already inside them. Take a moment and ask yourself, why does money seem effortless for some, but impossible for others? Is it intelligence, luck, hard work? No. The difference is assumption, the silent, invisible force directing every outcome in your life. The law of assumption states that whatever you believe to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, becomes your reality. It means wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you embody first. Before you see it, you must assume it. Before you touch it, you must become it. But here's the part they don't tell you. Your current reality is a trap. The financial struggles, the limitations, the constant stress, they are not facts, they are reflections of the story you've been telling yourself. And the moment you rewrite that story, your entire world will begin to shift. This isn't theory. This is spiritual physics, the fundamental law that governs the fabric of existence. The people who understand it, they break free. They attract wealth effortlessly, while others remain stuck in cycles of debt and frustration. And now you're about to learn how to do the same. In the next moments, I'm going to show you how to override the limitations of your current reality, how to step into a new paradigm of abundance, and how to activate the wealth that has been waiting for you all along. But before we go any further, let me ask you one thing. Are you ready to see the truth? Because once you do, there's no going back. You've been conditioned to believe that wealth is earned through sacrifice, endless hard work, and the ruthless pursuit of success. From the moment you were old enough to understand money, society drilled a single message into your mind. You have to work hard to get rich. But what if that idea is completely false? What if the very belief that you must earn your wealth is the reason you're stuck in the same financial struggles year after year? This is where Neville Goddard's law of assumption turns everything upside down. Imagine two people standing at the starting line of life. One grinds tirelessly, chasing money, opportunities, and success. Yet no matter how hard they work, financial freedom remains just beyond their reach. The other? They seem to attract wealth with ease. Money flows to them, opportunities appear out of nowhere, and success becomes inevitable. What's the difference? It's not luck. It's not intelligence. It's not even privilege. It's their assumption of reality. The law of assumption states that whatever you accept as true in your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, must manifest in your external world. It's not a question of if, it's a universal law just like gravity. The problem? Most people assume struggle, scarcity, and financial hardship as their default reality. They wake up each day expecting difficulty, expecting bills to pile up, expecting money to be hard to come. And because they expect it, they create it. Think about it. How often have you caught yourself saying things like, making money is hard? I'm not lucky like other people. I can't afford that. Every time you repeat these phrases, you're reinforcing a financial identity of lack and limitation. And your subconscious mind, which governs 95% of your reality, takes those statements as commands. It doesn't question them. It just makes them real. But here's the shocking truth. Wealth is not about what you do. It's about who you believe you are. The richest people in the world don't work harder than you. They don't stress more. They don't lose sleep over money the way you do. What separates them is their assumption, the deeply ingrained belief that they are, and always will be, abundant. This is why people who inherit millions often stay rich, while lottery winners who don't change their assumptions lose everything within years. It's why some entrepreneurs fail over and over, while others seem to succeed at everything they touch. It's why some people always have money, no matter what happens in the economy, while others barely scrape by. It all comes down to one thing. What do you assume about yourself? Neville Goddard's teachings go against everything you've been taught. He tells us that the key to wealth is not found in effort, but in identity. You must first assume the feeling of being wealthy. Before you ever see a dollar appear in your bank account, you must act, think, and feel as if the financial abundance you seek is already yours. Not in some distant future, not when conditions improve. Right now. But here's the part that most people miss. Your current reality is a reflection of past assumptions. The struggles, the scarcity, the financial stress you're facing right now, they are the results of old beliefs that no longer serve you. And the moment you stop reacting to your current circumstances and start assuming a new financial identity, everything will begin to shift. History is filled with people who understood this secret. Joseph from the Bible was thrown into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned, yet he never abandoned his assumption of greatness. Even in chains, he believed he was destined for power, and in the end, he rose to become a ruler in Egypt. The prodigal son lost everything, yet the moment he returned to his father's house, he was restored to his former wealth, not because of what he did, but because he assumed his rightful identity. If it worked for them, why can't it work for you? Right now, you might be looking at your bank account, your debts, or your financial situation and thinking, how can I ignore this? But that's exactly where the magic happens. The law of assumption tells us to ignore the outer world and trust the inner world. The world you see around you is nothing more than a delayed reflection of your past thoughts and beliefs. If you want to change your financial future, you must change what you assume today. This is not just philosophy. This is not wishful thinking. This is the ultimate secret to manifesting wealth and abundance effortlessly. And the best part? You don't need permission from anyone. You don't need a better job, a higher salary, or a lucky break. You just need to change your assumption of who you are. Are you ready to stop chasing wealth and start attracting it? Because the moment you truly assume your financial abundance, the universe will have no choice but to rearrange itself in your favor. The only question left is, will you take that first step, or will you continue living in the illusion of struggle? You've been living under an illusion. Your entire life, you've been conditioned to believe that your financial reality is dictated by external forces, your job, the economy, the government, luck. You've been taught that wealth is something you must chase, fight for, and struggle to obtain. But what if everything you see around you, your bank account, your financial limitations, even your deepest struggles, are not real in the way you think? What if they are nothing more than a reflection of the assumptions you've accepted as truth? This is where the law of assumption breaks everything you thought you knew about money wide open. Right now, there's a war happening inside your mind. One part of you is intrigued. Something inside you knows that this truth resonates. You've seen people who seem to manifest money effortlessly, who always find themselves in the right place at the right time. Deep down, you sense that they aren't just lucky. They're operating on a different frequency, one that you've been blind to. But then, there's the other part of you, the skeptical, conditioned mind that resists change. It clings to what it knows. This sounds too easy. If it were true, everyone would be rich. That voice in your head, the one that keeps you trapped in doubt, is the same voice that has been reinforcing your financial struggles all along. Think about it. Every day, you wake up and reaffirm the same reality. You check your bank account, you think about your bills, you stress over your financial situation, and every time you do, you unknowingly lock yourself into the same cycle of scarcity. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true must harden into fact. This means that the more you focus on your financial struggles, the more you make them real, not because the universe is against you, but because your mind is a projector, and your external world is merely the screen. But here's the breaking point, the moment where everything shifts. What if, for the first time in your life, you decided to completely reject the story you've been told? What if, instead of assuming lack, you assumed abundance? What if, instead of worrying about money, you started feeling wealthy before the evidence appeared? Most people will never do this because they are too attached to their current reality. They believe what they see instead of understanding that what they see is only the echo of past assumptions. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. You see a reflection of yourself. If you want to change the image, do you try to alter the reflection itself? No. You change yourself first, and the reflection follows. The world operates the same way. If you continue assuming that wealth is hard to attain, that's what you will see reflected back to you. But if you assume that you are already financially free, that assumption must manifest. This is not wishful thinking. This is the fundamental law that governs reality. Neville Goddard taught that assumption is more powerful than action, because action follows assumption. This is why two people can start the same business, yet one succeeds effortlessly while the other struggles for years with no results. It's why some people always seem to attract opportunities, while others face constant obstacles. The difference is not in their effort, it's in their assumption. The one who succeeds has already assumed success in their mind, and so their subconscious guides them toward opportunities, decisions, and actions that align with that assumption. The one who struggles, they may take the same actions, but they do so from a mindset of fear, doubt, and scarcity, and their results reflect that. Right now, your subconscious mind is running on autopilot. It's replaying the same patterns you've been programmed with since childhood, beliefs about money, success, and self-worth that you've never questioned. But here's the truth. You have the power to rewrite those patterns. You are not bound by your past. Your financial future is not dictated by your current circumstances. The moment you stop accepting scarcity as your reality and start assuming wealth, the entire structure of your life will begin to shift. But this isn't easy. The world around you is designed to keep you asleep, to keep you believing that success is reserved for a select few. You will be tempted to fall back into old habits, to check your bank account, to measure your success based on what you see in the physical world. And this is where most people fail. They assume abundance for a day, maybe a week, and when nothing appears immediately, they give up. They let their old assumptions take control again. But those who persist, those who continue to assume wealth even when their senses tell them otherwise, are the ones who break free. Look at the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was betrayed, sold into slavery, imprisoned. Yet through all of it, he never let go of his assumption that he was destined for greatness. Even when his external reality looked hopeless, he held on to the vision of himself as a ruler. And in the end, that assumption became his reality. The same principle applies to you. The only thing standing between you and financial freedom is the story you keep telling yourself. So the real question is, are you willing to step into a new assumption? Are you ready to let go of the illusion of struggle and embrace the reality of abundance? Because the moment you do, everything changes. Your subconscious mind will begin rearranging your life to align with your new belief. Opportunities will appear. Resources will flow. The universe will conspire in your favor, but only if you persist. Only if you refuse to let your current reality define you. Only if you finally accept the truth that wealth is not something you chase. It's something you become. The decision is yours. Will you continue living in the assumption of scarcity, or will you finally step into the financial abundance that has been waiting for you all along? Right now, at this very moment, you are standing at the edge of a decision that will define the rest of your life. You can continue living the way you always have, trapped in the illusion that success and wealth are things you must chase, things that require struggle, things that are always just out of reach. Or you can step into a new reality, one where wealth, prosperity, and abundance are already yours. The choice is simple, yet it will determine everything. Because the law of assumption is not just a theory, It is the blueprint for rewriting your financial destiny. You've heard this before. Change your mindset, change your life. But most people misunderstand what that really means. They think it's about positive thinking, about hoping for a better future while still feeling like a prisoner in the present. But that's not how it works. You don't just wish for abundance, you assume it, you embody it, you become it. Right now, you might be looking around and thinking, but my bank account is empty, my bills are piling up, I can't ignore reality. But let me ask you this, what is reality? Is it something fixed, unchangeable? Or is it simply a mirror reflecting back to you the beliefs you've been carrying all along? Neville Goddard revealed a truth so powerful that most people refuse to believe it. Your current financial situation is nothing more than the manifestation of your past assumptions. Every dollar in your pocket, or lack thereof, is simply a result of the story you have been telling yourself about money. And the moment you change that story, the moment you assume wealth as your natural state of being, everything around you will begin to shift. This isn't magic. This isn't luck. This is how reality works. Your assumptions create your world. But here's the hardest part: letting go of the illusion of scarcity. You've spent years, maybe even decades, identifying with struggle. You've been conditioned to believe that money is hard to come by, that you have to fight for success, that wealth is reserved for the lucky or the privileged, and so, even though the law of assumption is offering you a way out, something inside you resists. Your mind clings to the old reality because it feels safe, even if that reality is one of struggle. But the truth is, safety is an illusion. The only thing real is the story you choose to live by. So now, let's break free from the cycle. Right here, right now, you are going to step into the version of yourself that is already wealthy. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Imagine just for a moment that everything you've ever wanted is already yours. Feel it, not as a distant dream, but as your present reality. Imagine waking up in the morning knowing with absolute certainty that your financial worries are gone. Imagine the freedom, the peace, the absolute confidence of a person who no longer chases wealth, but effortlessly attracts it. What does that feel like? Is it relief? Is it joy? Is it an unshakable sense of power? That feeling is the key, because the law of assumption is not just about thinking. You must feel it in every cell of your being. Your subconscious does not respond to words alone, it responds to emotion, certainty, and identity. And the moment you consistently embody the feeling of wealth, the world will start to shift in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Think of it like tuning a radio. Right now, you've been locked onto the frequency of scarcity, doubt, and financial struggle. But the moment you change the station, when you tune into the frequency of abundance, everything in your external world will begin aligning with that new reality. People, opportunities, money, success. They will all start moving toward you, effortlessly, as if they were always meant to be yours. You don't have to force it. You don't have to figure out how it will happen. The how is not your job. Your job is to assume, to embody, to live in the end result as if it were already here. This is where most people fail. They assume wealth for a moment, but then they check their bank account, they see nothing has changed, and they immediately fall back into doubt. But the masters of this knowledge, those who have truly unlocked the power of assumption, understand that the outer world takes time to rearrange itself. Just like a seed planted in the ground doesn't sprout overnight, your assumption must be nurtured, protected, and held firm, no matter what your physical reality tries to tell you. The external world is always catching up to your internal world. And if you persist, if you refuse to let doubt pull you back, if you hold on to your assumption with absolute certainty, the transformation is inevitable. Look back at history, at the great minds who understood this secret. Thomas Edison assumed the light bulb would work long before he saw proof. Nikola Tesla assumed a world of wireless energy long before it was possible. Every great innovator, every wealthy entrepreneur, every person who has ever changed the world first assumed it to be true in their mind. That is how reality is shaped. That is how fortunes are built. And now, it's your turn. You don't need permission. You don't need external validation. You only need to decide. Right now, this very second, you must assume yourself as wealthy. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Assume it so deeply, so completely, that nothing in the world can shake that belief. Walk through life as if you already have everything you desire. Speak as if success is inevitable. Think as if the fortune you've always dreamed of is already yours. Because the moment you do, the universe has no choice but to comply. Your reality will shift. Wealth will find you. Success will be drawn to you. This is the power of assumption. This is the key to unlocking financial abundance. This is the moment everything changes. The question is no longer, can I become wealthy? The question is, will I finally assume the identity of the wealthy person I was meant to be? Because the second you do, the game is over. You've already won. You've stepped into the assumption of wealth. You've felt the power of shifting your inner world, of aligning with the frequency of abundance. But now, something happens. The world around you doesn't seem to change fast enough. Your bank account still looks the same. The bills keep coming. The job you hate still demands your time. Doubt begins to creep in. What if this isn't working? What if this is just another empty promise? This is where most people fail. Not because the law of assumption doesn't work, but because they let their old reality pull them back into the illusion of scarcity. They assume wealth for a moment, but the second they don't see immediate evidence, they slip back into their old patterns of fear, stress, and limitation. And in doing so, they unknowingly undo the very assumption that was beginning to reshape their future. But here's what you need to understand. This moment of resistance is part of the process. When you start assuming wealth, when you decide to shift your identity, your subconscious mind fights back. Why? Because your subconscious has been programmed for years, maybe even decades, to believe in struggle, to believe that money is hard to come by, and like an old operating system trying to resist an upgrade, it will do everything in its power to keep you stuck in the familiar. The real test is happening right now. Are you going to let external circumstances dictate your belief? Or will you persist, even when nothing around you seems to be changing? This is the moment that separates those who manifest wealth from those who remain trapped in cycles of lack. Imagine a seed planted deep in the soil. At first, nothing seems to be happening. Days pass, then weeks. No visible growth. Most people, impatient and doubtful, dig up the seed too soon, convinced that nothing is happening beneath the surface. But those who understand how nature works know the truth. The roots are growing, the foundation is being built, and the transformation is already underway. Your assumption is the same. Even when you can't see it, your reality is already shifting. Look at history. Joseph from the Bible was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely imprisoned. Every external sign suggested he was failing. But his assumption never wavered. He continued to see himself as a ruler, as a man of power and abundance. And in the end, that assumption became his reality. He rose to the highest position in Egypt, ruling over a nation, proving that your external struggles mean nothing compared to the power of your internal belief. The problem is that most people react to their current circumstances instead of controlling their inner world. They let a temporary setback convince them that wealth is out of reach. They see a delay as a denial. But the truth is, the wealth you are assuming is already on its way to you. It's just waiting to materialize in the physical world. The question is, will you hold the assumption long enough for it to fully manifest? This is where discipline comes in. Neville Goddard called it remaining faithful to your assumption. It means that no matter what happens, no matter what obstacles appear, you do not waver. You do not let external reality dictate your belief. You continue to walk, speak, and think as the wealthy version of yourself, because that is who you truly are. But let's take this deeper. Think about the energy you are projecting. Every day you are either sending out signals of abundance or signals of lack. If you constantly check your bank account, worry about money, or complain about your finances, what are you really telling the universe? You are reaffirming the identity of someone who struggles with money. And the universe, being a mirror, simply reflects that assumption back to you. But when you persist, when you ignore the illusion of lack and continue to assume abundance, you shift into a new frequency. Money begins to find you in unexpected ways. Opportunities appear, the right people show up, and suddenly, what once seemed impossible starts to feel inevitable. This is not a matter of chance. This is the law of assumption in action. Your external world is bending, reshaping itself to fit the new identity you have claimed. But the key is persistence. The most dangerous thing you can do is fall back into doubt, because doubt is an assumption too. The moment you start questioning whether this is working, whether you're truly manifesting wealth, you are sending a signal that you do not believe it's possible. And the universe, in perfect reflection, responds accordingly. So here's what you must do. Refuse to give up. Refuse to let external reality dictate your belief. Refuse to be tricked by the illusion of delay. The moment you make this commitment, the moment you truly decide that nothing, not fear, not setbacks, not the illusion of time can shake your assumption of wealth, you become unstoppable. Think of the greatest success stories you know. Entrepreneurs, artists, visionaries, they all had moments where everything seemed to be against them. But the ones who succeeded were those who refused to accept external reality as final. They saw beyond what was in front of them. They held on to the assumption of success even when every sign pointed to failure. And because they persisted, reality had no choice but to align with them. That is your power. You are the creator of your financial destiny. You do not need permission. You do not need validation. All you need is the courage to assume, to persist, and to trust in the unseen. Because the wealth you desire is already yours. It's waiting for you to claim it. The only question is, will you hold the assumption long enough for it to become real? Or will you let doubt steal your destiny? The decision is yours, and in that decision your entire future is being written. You've reached the turning point. The illusions that once held you back are crumbling, and the truth is now undeniable. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you assume, something you become. The law of assumption has been working in your life this entire time, whether you realized it or not. Every financial struggle, every limitation, every roadblock you've faced was nothing more than a reflection of the beliefs you unknowingly held on to. But now everything is different. Now, you understand that the power to manifest abundance has always been within you. This is where most people hesitate. They want to believe in their wealth, but they also want proof before they fully commit. They want to check their bank account and see instant results. They want to look around and find immediate evidence that their world is shifting. But that's not how this works. You don't wait for external validation. You create it. The moment you demand proof, you're reaffirming your old assumption that wealth isn't truly yours yet. And that single doubt is enough to keep you stuck in the same cycle. But the ones who truly master this law, they step into their assumption completely. They don't wait to see it. They know it's already done. They wake up every morning feeling wealthy before the money appears. They act, think, and make decisions as though financial abundance is already their reality. And because they hold that assumption with unwavering certainty, the world around them has no choice but to align. This is how the most successful people in history have created their fortunes. They did not operate from a mindset of scarcity, waiting for wealth to show up before they felt secure. They assumed their success before there was any logical reason to believe in it. Steve Jobs didn't wait for Apple to become a billion-dollar company before assuming its dominance. Oprah Winfrey didn't wait for fame before assuming her influence. Elon Musk didn't wait for Tesla to succeed before assuming its impact on the world. They believed first, and reality followed. This is the shift you must make. You must now choose to assume wealth as your reality, without hesitation, without doubt, without waiting for proof. You must step fully into the identity of someone who is already financially free. Because the moment you do, everything in your world begins to shift. You'll start seeing money flow to you in ways you never expected. Opportunities will appear. The right people will come into your life. And most importantly, you'll notice a deep internal shift, a sense of peace, confidence, and certainty that you are finally in control of your financial destiny. You might be wondering, how do I maintain this? How do I make sure I don't fall back into old patterns of doubt and scarcity? The answer is simple: discipline and persistence. Every time doubt creeps in, you must reject it. Every time external reality tries to convince you that nothing is changing, you must remind yourself that what you see is only a delayed reflection of past assumptions. Your new reality is already forming beneath the surface. You must remain faithful to it. This is where gratitude becomes one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Gratitude is the ultimate confirmation of assumption. When you are grateful for something, it means you already believe it to be yours. So start expressing gratitude for your wealth now, not in the future, but in this very moment. Wake up every morning with the unshakable belief that financial abundance is already in your possession. Say it out loud. I am grateful for the wealth that flows to me effortlessly. I am thankful for the endless financial opportunities in my life. I celebrate the abundance that surrounds me. This is not just positive thinking. This is aligning your frequency with wealth itself. When you consistently affirm and feel gratitude for your financial abundance, you lock yourself into the vibration of wealth, and nothing can pull you out of it. Your external world will always catch up to your internal world. And the longer you hold the assumption of abundance, the faster your reality will shift. And here's the final key. You must take action from your new identity. Wealthy people don't sit back and wait for money to appear. They move with the confidence of someone who already has it. They make bold financial decisions. They invest in themselves. They seize opportunities because they trust that their wealth is inevitable. This doesn't mean recklessly spending money you don't have. It means shifting your entire approach to life. Acting, thinking, and living as the wealthy version of yourself, even before you see the physical proof. When you do this, when every decision you make is aligned with the assumption that you are already financially abundant, the results will appear faster than you ever imagined. So now, you stand at the final threshold. You have everything you need. You understand that wealth is not about luck, effort, or struggle. It is about assumption. You know that your external world is a reflection of your internal beliefs, and that you hold the power to reshape your reality. You are no longer waiting for wealth to arrive. You are claiming it as yours. And so the only question left is this: are you ready to fully step into this new reality? Are you ready to assume, without doubt, without hesitation, and without needing proof that you are already rich? Because the moment you do, the universe will move mountains to prove you right. You've been given the key. The door to financial freedom is wide open. All that's left is for you to walk through it.